Welcome to 3-week workshop on programming in C++. In this video, I'm going to explain the concept of constructors. Before going to explain the concept of constructor, first of all, we must to know why we need to go for a constructor. So here you know that there are two types of variable possible to define in a class. Inside of the class, one is a data member, another one is local variable. And we know about the data means that a default value for the local variable and as well as data members. Actually, in C++, there is no default value for the data member. Always it assigns some garbage value for both data member and as well as a local variable. So, always, so in order to avoid that problem, we are expecting to assign a value to the variable data member at the time of the declaration. Actually, the C++ does not support the concept of compile time initialization for the data members. And also there is no default values, so there is no default values assigned for data members. So, let us see with the simple example here. I'm going to just assign a value. Just I'm going to create some class definition. I'm going to create and I'm going to finish the classes. And so I'm going to create an object. So my object name is yes. And I try to assign some value here. Just we can make a compile. So we know that in the C++ there is no default value. I am trying to assign some value for the data member at the time of compile time. Actually, in C++, it won't allow you to initialize. See that it makes an error message. So of the classes so that it won't take a compile time initialization at the time of declaration. That means that always the data member we are always to prefer to go. So that we are expecting to go with some other method. Some other initialization method. So it will be. The solution for this problem is through constructors. So constructor is a special member function which is used to assign us some initial value to the data member. So normally if you're not assigning, it takes a garbage value so that we are getting unexpected results. In order to avoid that problem, so always we recommend that constructor to provide the solution for this garbage value uses. So through the help of this constructor, we are going to assign an initial value for the data member at the time of creating an object. But many of them think that why we are not using, why you are not prefer to go with some normal method function for initialization. But normally if you are creating any function, we need to call the function to assign. So, that initially to assign with some garbage value, and we are going to make changes on that. But actually, the constructor is not like that. At the time of creating a memory, once the memory is allocated for the object, automatically to assign the value. We don't need to do some explicit action to assign some value to the data member. So I will repeat once again. So with the help of the constructor concept, so we means that we are going to assign a value for the data member, either runtime or a compile time. Means either we can go with some fixed value or maybe we can go with the runtime value. Means the runtime, the input from user received from the user. But maybe you can expect that we can assign through help of some function, but you need to do we need to do some explicit function call to assign the value for that. But if you are using a constructor, we don't need to do any explicit action. It will be called automatically at the time of object creation. So as a programmer, no need to do any action to make to initialize for the data member. So let us just I'm going to explain what it is. So normally the constructor is a special member function. It means it is a function. Normally it is used for assigning a value at the time of compiling itself, means at the time of creating object itself. So that in many situations they are mentioning it that it is for memory, a constructor for memory allocation. It is not like that. Whenever the memory is allocated, it is in which the values can be assigned in compile time itself. So we need to talk about some of the characteristics of a constructor. So first of all, I'm saying that it is a special member function. It is a function. So that for a constructor, means that it is a member function, so that the class name and function name must be same, and it does not return any value. It does not return any value. Also it must be defined only inside of the public, because in the C++ only we have 3 access modifier, so that we must to define only public, because the constructor must be invoked by the object, so that the private and the protected won't allow to access a constructor, so that we must to define inside of only public section. It should not return any value, and it should not support static and virtual. Static function and virtual keyword should not be supported, and it will be invoked automatically at the time of object creation. So these are the some of the important properties of the constructor. I will repeat once again. So now by using this member function, we are going to assign some default value for the variable. So here in this constructor, the function name and the class name must be same, does not return any value, and must be defined only inside of the public section, and should not support static and virtual keywords, and invoke automatically at the time of creating an object itself. So these are the some of the properties of a constructors. Okay, let us check with the simple examples. Okay, so here I am not possible to assign a value. So first of all, so that I am going to initialize the constructor by using a constructor. Assume that in first case I am going with fixed value. There are different type of constructor we have. First of all, we will check about how we can do it. Okay, so here I saw that I mentioned that in the earlier case, it is a special member function, and the function name and class name is same. So class name is a sample. I mean that it is a special member function, so that it must have a function symbol, and we have to do the initialization procedure. But normally constructor only for assigning purpose, even if it allow for any kind of a manipulation and all. But as per the logic, as per the meaning of the statement, you have to do only for initialization. So here my current I'm going to assign some values pet, and I'm going to initialize. I'm going to print it with the help of some method, or otherwise I want without printing. I'm accessing outside. The value of a is object name s dot a. So like that I'm going to access. Just you must know how it will work. So see the some of the properties. So in this case, if it is a constructor, the class name and function name must be same. So let's see the name class name. It is a sample. It is also a function. It is a function. The name of the class name and function name are same. You know that the name followed by open parenthesis always referred as a function. So in the constructor, the name of the class and function name is the same, and is used to assign the value for instance variable. Here, no need to define any local variable and all. Not necessary. Always we have to initialize to instance variable, that is called for data members. Okay, so some errors will be displayed, because if you are compiling this program, surely this error will be displayed, because the constructor should be invoked. The constructor must be defined only in public section. See, then the sample colon sample is not accessible. It means that this method is not defined in public section, and also we are accessing the value of a outside of the class. So that a also must be defined only as a public. So I'm going to make all elements, all the properties of the class as a public. So just for understanding, just I'm going to make some alignment on my program. Just to compile, there is no errors. So I told that the compiler is invoked automatically. So let's just to compile, and I'm going to run the program. So this is a 10. So just we are tracing the program by pressing F7. So I'm going to press F7. See that I forgot to say that. Okay, so we know that at the time of creating object itself, the constructor will be invoked. Just you can compile. So it's a single entry point from main function. So the object is created, but here I didn't any function call to invoke sample constructor. But see that now I am in an object creation method. As per the definition of the constructor, it will be according to the characteristics, it will be invoked automatically without any explicit action. It will be invoked automatically when the object is created. So this is the location for creating the object for the sample class. Then see that automatically the constructor is invoked. So and then it will assign a value to this A. So that only we are saying that memory allocation. You know that object creation for memory allocation. So that in many places, many of them suggest that constructor for memory allocation, but it is not a meaning. Constructor means once object is created, the memory is allocated. While allocating a memory, we need to assign with some default fixed value. So that with the help of this constructor, we are going to assign some default value instead of this garbage value. Then it will print the value of A. That it will print. If you want it, you can show some print statement here. I am in constructor. I'm going to compile. I'm going to run this program. Yeah, sorry. Now you can see this because the clear screen is declare that printed output. See that I am in a constructor, then the value of A is string. So constructor will be invoked automatically at the time of object creation. So this is the best way we have to explain how the constructor will work. Okay. So the next, we have to discuss some of the property also. It is a special member function to initialize the value for the data member. So it is a member function. It is a function. We know that it is a function because we have a open parenthesis and a close, and is used for assigning a value and used for assigning some value so that we call as a constructor. The next thing is it will be invoked automatically at the time of object creations. Everyone knows that how it will work. For example, if you are creating another one more time, for example, I'm going to create another one more object that is called S1. I'm going to run this. I'm going to trace the program execution. So the 2 times the sample will execute. Now the sample is over. Now the sample execution also. Again the sample will be executed because there are 2 objects will be created. So for every time the object is created, surely the constructor must work if you are defining as constructor in our program. So if you are defining any constructor in a program, surely it must be executed. For every constructor object, the constructor must be invoked. So there are 2 objects created so that it invoke 2 times. Okay. The next thing is the function name and the class name is same. You know that it's already we know and we already checked and has not written any value. See that. So just I'm going to assign I'm going to define some default data type here. For example, return type. I'm saying it is a void, and I'm going to compile. It shows an error message that the constructor cannot have a return type specification. But if you go for Java and all, it doesn't show any errors. It does not show any error message. But in C++, if you are specifying that keyword means return keyword, return word, that means return type in front of the function name, that is called your constructor name, surely it makes a compile time error, throw in an error, compile time errors. Okay. And the next one is must be defined under the public section. So you know that, but even already I mentioned it. But if I'm going to hide it as a private, instead of as a public, I'm going to make it as productor. You know that it is a productor, you are unable to access outside. See that it is not accessible. There are 2 times the constructor shown here, so it is a private. Because of a private, we are unable to access it. So that private and the productor, it's unable to access. So that it will be invoked only possible way. We have to use the define only in public section, and go to the next one, and should not support static keyword. So if I'm trying to define a static keyword here and see that there is an error, then static is not allowed here. And also there is a keyword visual, but we will talk about this static and visual keyword in the later part. But if you have know about some Java or object or any of object programming, surely you must know about static. Visual is not allowed here, so that visual also not supported. And the last property is that it will be invoked automatically at the time of object creation. Yeah, sure. It will be, you know that it will be invoked automatically at the object creation. We no need for any explicit function call. So no need for any explicit function call. No explicit call to the constructor. It will be invoked automatically. So next thing is There are three important types of a constructors we have. One is a default constructor, second one is a parameterized constructor, and copy constructor. So if you are a default constructor, the constructor won't take any arguments. Then it is called as default constructors. Normally it means that assign some fixed value for data members. So it will assign some default value for the data members. For easy to understand that at the time of object creation, so class syntax for calling invoking a default constructor is class name space object name. It's enough to invoke a default constructor. So here this is an example for a default constructor, because this is the way I created, so that here I don't have any function call and all, so that it is called default constructor, and as well as easy to understand that the constructor won't take any arguments, so that this is an example for default constructor. Clear? Okay. So the next term is and also it assign use for some fixed value for your data member. So based on the number of for every data member, we need to assign some value. But always try to understand that you should not write don't write any executable statement other than initialization inside of the constructor. It is not a good practice to follow it, because the constructor only for initialization, not for calculation, so that you don't do any manipulation or execution part. That is called any executable part inside of this constructor. Just you can use this constructor for assignment of the values. Okay. And second one is, it is a parameterized constructor. A parameterized constructor must take in arguments. Means that it must have arguments. So that it will assign a value based on the user choice. Assign a value based on the user perspective. And the third means it must have arguments, and the number of arguments depends on the application. Number of arguments depends on the application. So it means that a number of inputs for the application. So this is for parameterized constructor, and for the syntaxes. So we know that the constructor will be invoked at the time of object creation. So that is a class name space object name. Then you have to send the parameters, and more than one parameters are separated by. So more than one parameters are separated by comma. Parameters are separated by comma. By using a comma, just we are going to separate it. Okay, let us to take for this my program. I have only one variable. Means I have only one data member, so that I need to assign this a value to the data member, so that here I can get possibly only one parameterized constructor. So for a parameter sample, I'm going to get a one argument. I'm going to copy the value of your parameter to your data members. It means that here I'm going to send a value. So S1 within a bracket means if you're not passing any value, it will invoke only default constructor. If you are passing any value, so for example, my value is 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my value. So this will be passed as an argument to the constructor. So it is like as a formal parameter. We know that how the function execution works. Same concept. So F is a local variable. Just we are copying F to A. So normally it is not a correct practice to use some other variable name for your parameter. We know that this is the value for A. So but A is a local variable. We know that if you are declaring a variable inside of the function is local variable. So if you are defining like that, the function gives only for the preference to the local variable, so that you can differentiate. You know that always we are assigning it to the data member only. So that the left side of your always the assignment operation must be on a data member. So that here if I am defining the name as a same, so that you must use this keyword, that means this pointer to differentiate it. But it is not necessary to do that. If you want, you can define some other name instead of this A. Just if you want, you can do that. Then you can copy A equal to F. So like that, if you want, you can define. That is on your choice, but as per the normal experience by the any developer, always they are trying to give a value for only the same name of your data member. By using this keyword, they are differentiated, because whenever you know that the one basic constraint for naming for variable, always it reflect the purpose which is created. So that always try to give a relevant name, so that they are giving a relevant name to the data member. Always the formal parameter name is also relevant to the data member, so that it is easy to understand that the parameter only for assigning this value of this instance parameter. So that many of them, they are prefer to go with the same name. So that is our, as a programmer choice. If you want, you can go with the same name, or otherwise you can go with different name. And the next thing is, so next it's okay. Now we can compile. Just now also I need to put a one output default statement indicate what is the constructor. So I'm in default constructor. And I'm going to add another one more printf statement in default parameterized constructor. So I am in parameterized constructor. I'm going to define like this. And I'm going to compile. Okay. Then again I'm going to run. Then the first one, default constructor. Yeah, just a minute. So sample S1, I'm going to define 1, 2, 3, 4. So here I'm going to define the value of A. S1.A. Now I compile and run. So it will print like this. Okay. By using F7, we can trace it. Clear screen. So now the object is created. As per the definition of the constructor, it will be invoked automatically at the time of object creation. So there are two constructors I have. So that is called constructor overloading. So automatically it invoke default constructor, because it won't take it. You don't have any arguments at the time of creating object. So then it will execute. So then it will print the value of A. Okay. Now after that, again another one more object creation is that, so that. So this is here I passed one argument, so that I'm going to pass it. It means one argument function is invoked, then it will print the value of A, and then terminator. See that there is A equal to 10, and next one is a 1, 2, 3, 4, because the first one invokes the default constructor, so that in S the value of A is at 10, because it invokes the default constructor, and for S1 it invokes a parameterized constructor, so that the initial value in the parameterized constructor is 1, 2, 3, 4. So because the parameter is means a copy. Okay. So if you don't want it, if you want, okay, somebody think that again I want to create. Is it possible to copy more than one time? For example, S2 I'm invoked. Yeah, it will invoke it, but the thing is, it will invoke default constructor, because we don't have any argument, but it invoke parameterized, and it invoke default. Okay, assume that I want to copy the value of S1 to S2. So I am passing an object as argument. So in this situation, there is a parameter is that, but you must know what is S1, whether it is a variable or maybe an object. So S1 is an object. So S1, so this is the object, means a class name, then followed by object name, so that it is an object. So if you are passing object as argument, so that is a third type, that is called copy constructor. So there are three types of constructor. One is a default constructor. It assigns some fixed value. Second one, for parameterized constructor, it takes some arguments. So the number of arguments depends on the application. Third one is to copy the property from one object to another object. So that here the object must be passed as argument. Passed as argument. So that the syntax is, so for example, so class name, object name. I'm going to define only the common format. and within the bracket we need to pass the object name which is already assigned some values. Means if you want to copy from which object, you have to define the name of the objects. So this is the way we are implementing the concept of copy constructors. So just we can, this is basic. So that I told that it's a class name followed by object name, and within that you have to define from which object we are going to copy. I'm expecting to copy the properties of S1. So here I have only one property for S1, that is A. I want to copy this value. So we know that if you are passing any object as an argument, the data type must be in a class name. Okay, so again the sample, but that is it takes one argument, but on the argument is object. S1 is object, passing object for a copy constructor. So if you are passing an object, always the data type must be a class name. So sample, then it must be an object name. But actually we are going to reference of that object VTV first, so that we need to put ampersand here. But in Java and C# and all, no need to put ampersand. But here we need to define a ampersand. So we want to copy from f.a because it is a reference. I want to copy from the object as f2 means object f2 my current object. So you know that the current object is S2. So whenever it will be invoked, so this is my current object. So it will be invoked in that time S1 will be a current object. So it will be invoked so that S2 will be a current object because I want to copy from the property of S1 to S2 so that the current, if you are in a class, if you are mentioning normal name, it means that it is a current object. But here f.a means that the object which is passed as an argument. So S1 has a passed argument. So it will be renamed as f in this function argument in a formal parameter so that I want to copy from formal parameter to the current instance. So then now you have to print the value of S2. So cout the value of A in S2 object, S2.a. Now I'm going to compile. Any errors? I'm going to run. Just a minute. I can use action. And also I need to define one printf statement. It indicates it is a copy constructor. I'm defining it is a copy constructor. So again, I'm going to run the program. So the first one S is default constructor because it won't take any argument. Second one is a parameterized. So third one is for a copy constructor. Always try to understand that it doesn't not necessary to follow the order that first we need to create 3 objects for every category. That is not a meaning. But if you want to use a parameterized as a copy constructor, there is an object which is already means a creator the object need to be created already. Then only there is a possibility. But for the remaining thing, it depends on your choices, the programmer choices they can select. Assume that if you want to if you want to go with applications, this is like as a GUI application. For example, for easy understanding, I will go with some other like applications like www.gmail.com. So it will go automatically because everything is recorded. Just a minute. I want. So see that there is a one entry form is there. Just a minute, I can show it with the help of some examples. Okay. Assume that we know that it is a GUI application. GUI application is a concept of directly interact with the program user to get a value. See that it asks some values, means that it will ask some value from the user, so that it's outside of the environment. So that whatever we assign, so for example, for the new registration, they have a 4 field. It's asked for a 4 field: email, contact number, register number, and password. And also it asks another one more is a confirm register number and the OTP. So these are all called as the properties of the class. Clear? So these are all called the properties of the class. So that the properties of the class means we have to define this a property of the class. So that so these are the properties are received from outside because we need to enter here. So these informations will be captured and will be passed to the class. As in background, we have to create a class to register all the details. So we have to register inside of the class. So in that time, it only applicable for parameterized constructor. We should not go with default constructor. Clear? So, so my choices based on the convenient, you have to define what type of the constructor we need. Doesn't mean that always we need to use only default. Always there is no constraint on that. We have based on the application, we have to decide what type of constructor it will be designed. So whenever the constructor is defined, we need to define exact number of parameters. So that's all. That's all the basic things about constructors. So in the next example, I will explain how to map this constructor with some examples. Thank you.